Welcome. We are sitting here in front of a long weekend with Gio, who is in Las Vegas for his long weekend, and Faye, who is at home in Dallas for the long weekend. Faye Stutts is the director of Flex Space and Co-working Partnerships at Vari and has a pretty good history in the industry. So Faye, I am looking forward to our conversation today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. Gio.
Hi. It's good to see Faye again. We were in New York for several days for the GWA immersive event, which ended up it was awesome. I mean, 130 people, 22-acre campus of Tishman Spire, so it was good. And Faye runs it from beginning to end. Everything from breakfast through the events, through happy hour, through dinners, through karaoke late into the night. So we're glad that she's here and fully recovered, but she is the epitome of a connector and a social butterfly.
Totally. So Faye, I'm curious about so you have a history at Premier, which I didn't actually realize. I knew you were at Work Suites. So Premier's a national brand, kind of flies under the radar sometimes, but they have, I don't know, 90 locations ish.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And they're growing big time. So
yeah, Gio, we need to get them on the podcast. And Flip with Work Suites, also, they are also making their own moves kind of across Dallas and Houston and doing some expansion. So can you I'd love to hear, how did you get into kind of co-working flex space? I'm sure it wasn't called co-working when you joined Work Suites. And then tell us what you do at Vari.
Yeah. So it was actually called Meridian Business Centers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he did a name change.
When I first started. So I've worked for Flip Howard twice. So back in 2011 is when I started my journey within co-working. It was more executive suites, private offices, and I found them on Craigslist ad. And so I actually applied for a sales coordinator role. So it's basically leads coming in and me just basically finding the west or north or whatever district sales manager and just kind of sourcing that lead over, which is funny because I worked with like Monica with Instant Offices, who's obviously still there in just different roles. So it's like I've known this entire group for like 10 plus years. And so fast forward, obviously, kind of wanted to grow outside of just Texas, and Meridian at the time was just based in Texas. Premier definitely came knocking on my door with Mickey Bontrager, who was at Meridian Business Centers once upon a time. So started over at Premier and kind of moved my way up with a general manager, just overseeing one location to multiple. To being a regional, I had 14 different markets from Texas to Denver, New York to Florida. That was half the US, but that was my territory. And they kept growing, and they still are growing, and they're putting a lot of dots on the map on the East Coast. And having my second daughter, I wanted to kind of peel back on travel and kind of get back into my passion of sales versus overseeing people, managing people, and putting out fires and things like that. I wanted to be in the bunkers. That's kind of my passion. So kind of went back with Flip for a year, just trying to figure it out. He had an opportunity. He rebranded to Work Suites and said, hey, let's see, what you can do here. And just did corporate solutions and partnerships. So any like large lead that came in, I would just help basically close those and get them in. But it still wasn't quite fulfilling. So I'm only working for one operator, and I have this huge network of people that I want to work with, and you can't necessarily sell a competitor when you're with a competitor. So that's how Vari came along. Vari actually reached out to me for a different role, more just focused on the DFW market. But after research, I noticed that there was a huge opportunity for a co-working vertical, which they did not have. And I knew pretty much every operator used someone besides them. So moved forward and just kind of set in observation mode for about 6 months, and then went and kind of asked for the flex role, and all about show me what you got, and then we will support you. So I went in there, definitely tried to show them what I'm capable of. It does take time. but COVID definitely helped, even though it wasn't a great thing overall, but for Flex, it was huge. And here we are 3 years later with our own vertical, just running full speed, trying to keep up with myself.
And she's being humble. She is the #1 salesperson at Vari right now. And it's certainly has been an awesome journey. I really haven't known Faye that long, maybe 3.5 years ish.
About 4 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it's been so awesome because she has grown tremendously into the role that she's in on multiple facets. But it's just been so interesting because she is, again, like I said, a total connector, knows everyone in the industry. And, you know, we joke around about how we have our co-working mafia, which is Faye, Kurt at a census, and myself. Angie's been kind of indoctrinated into it, and we're slowly growing. But it's so interesting because, you know, for the first little bit, I mean, Faye was really frustrated. And I mean, Jamie, you and I've had some incredible conversations, you know, about our own personal growth and professional growth and all kinds of stuff. And it was the same way with Faye and I. I mean, Faye was ready to quit several times because things weren't moving as quickly as Faye likes them to move. Is full of energy and spunk. And so it's been fun to see her be able to pump on the brakes when she needed to, and then go full throttle when she needed to. And so, I mean, I think I'd love to hear more about your journey to get to where you are, right, Faye? Because I mean, the last 3 years has been drinking out of a fire hose at times, and times it's been, hey, where's the water? So I think there's people out there that I think need to hear the encouragement of your journey, and, you know, to not quit too soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I am very impatient. Gio is 100% spot on. Like, I like things to happen right now.
I think you're in good company, Faye.
One thing that I'm known for is, like, I'm fast. If you were to text me, email me, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I'm going to respond either received on it. Give me 5 minutes, give me a day. But I like to get things done. Like, I'm a go-getter. I execute, and that's just my passion. That's my personality. So coming into this company, they were more, I think at the time, more focused on just BB. Like, everything turns around really quickly, 30 to 60, maybe even 90 days. And I expressed to them that with what I'm trying to do, it takes trust, loyalty, and relationship to build. First, you've got to build those 3 things. But once you win them over and you're able to show them what you're capable of, all of these big, large opportunities follow, right? Because it's not my vertical is reoccurring transactions. It's not your one and done headquarters, and maybe 5 years later call you for a new headquarters.
Yep.
So the journey, it starts with VentureX, which is where obviously Gio is sitting. Meeting Jason Anderson and Matt Calza at GWA 2019. They all knew where I worked, and I'm very big on just saying, hey, this is where I'm at. If you ever need anything, let me know. Like, if you have a problem, just call me. I'll let you know if I have a solution. So them trying to understand our business model against, Herman Miller or other operators, still case, was this. That's kind of where it really, really started to grow. Is we manufacture everything ourselves. There is not a dealer model. I am the one point of contact for every single franchisee, co-working operator, person. It's not Denver calls this person, New York calls this individual. So that was huge. That's a huge pain point today for the operators that use the dealer model. And then our lead time. So knowing that we can literally deliver, a 30,000 square foot space in 21 business days or less was huge. So of course, hearing that, they're like, no way. But once we were able to show them that we were able to deliver, and then there's a bunch of services. We have the internal design, so that cuts your design costs with whoever you're outsourcing. We have our own project managers who come on site, oversee it, basically just have a crew and just lead the way. And then we do punch. So, and then service. If something is wrong, we can 100% drop ship out, a new desk product within 5 to 7 business days. Whether that's 5 desks, 10 chairs, or we'll come back and do a punch in 14 days. So having that business model is what broke the mold, I feel like, for the co-working industry and the flex industry. As you walk spaces, you see so many different operators have stacked desks in like 6 or 7 rooms off the market because they did 100% orders of all the product, thinking, what if I land that corporate enterprise client? I don't have product, I can't take a gamble. Back then, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks for lead time. I know today it's like 16 to 20. So they wanted all the product. With us, you can literally, we help you scale. Start here, and as you grow, we can grow with you, and we can grow in the time frame that you're trying to grow, versus, taking a guess on where to place your orders and how much you need at each time, I guess is the right word.
Wait, Faye, I have to interrupt. I know Gio is going to have some sort of philosophical question he wants to continue with, but how do you avoid the supply chain issues? Because I hear people, I have a Facebook group, people say, oh, I'm getting Vari and it's coming right soon, not in 16 weeks. How does your model work that it avoids those challenges?
We have an internal product and inventory team who basically looks at our forecast based out of Salesforce or CRM. We connect with leadership and we can basically forecast, here's what's coming in the next 6 months, we'll say. And so we will actually go demand planned, and we just continue to get product dropped, shipped from Taiwan, which is where our factory is located. And we have 4 distribution centers located in California, Texas, Atlanta, and Philadelphia, just fully stocked with product. So if someone needs, desk, couch, sofa, conference table, we literally have all these items located in 4 distribution centers. So by having that and having fully stocked product already here in the US is how we've been able to keep up. And we don't stop the containers. They just keep on coming.
And I think the beauty of it is, Jamie, I'd love to have Jason McCann on at some point to talk about how Vari became Vari, right? But they started with a desktop stand desk, right? That's how it started, a conversion product that now has, how many SKUs are you up to now, Faye?
Almost 300.
Yeah, so they've added soft seating or full desks on top of the desktop. They've added chairs, file cabinets, sofa, everything you see really in the background of My Venture X is a lot of a Vari product in a lot of ways. And part of, they've been able to pivot and change with the growing demand and need, right? And so I know y'all have spent a bunch of time with not just UFG, but there's other landlords that, have had different color needs and desires and, everything else. And so they truly are an entrepreneurship type of company that really focuses on the needs. I think this is a good way, I brought up the landlord side of it. So it was so interesting, we as AY were pitching an Atlanta-based landlord that was creating their own white label brand, if you will, and trying to figure out how to pivot and meet those needs. And they were actually in the process of, they were going to rent their furniture. And ultimately we weren't getting the right answers as a service provider from them. So I actually flew out there and met with them. And that's when I found out they were looking at this rent to own, or I was going to say rent to own, but still straight rent.
Yep.
And so ultimately I was like, well, have y'all talked to Vari? And I was able to get them to make the introduction, as in, well, maybe they'll consider renting it for you or to you. And, Faye and John Moyer were able to convert that into a huge line of business. But I think even that side of it, I think is really interesting, because we're all talking about that, right? Is how are landlords making the transition? And Faye and John and their team are having a lot of those conversations. They're on the front end of how do we design the spaces? How do we have all the spaces furnished, or do we furnish one? And I'm talking about spec suites or agile suites, whatever we want to call them. And so Faye, you want to talk about that journey too, as kind of how that evolution with landlords is going?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's, like you said, there's a lot of landlords that are trying to figure out how they can create their own flex program. whatever they want to call it. And I think then the reason why they were going to utilize court is because they can get on furniture in 2 to 3 weeks. Ideally, that was their go-to initially, but once we were able to show them, okay, you can literally buy our furniture 3.5 times in 12 months, toss it out for the same price you're going to rent for 12 months from court. They were like, wow, okay. So, we show them how to monetize it. We show them how to break it down, per square foot whenever they're signing big leases. And then obviously we have a huge warranty that we back them with. So that helps if things go wrong, we're able to replace those items. So just really being able to have that quick lead time delivery, again, is another huge reason why we were able to win the partnership. And as more and more of these landlords continue to try to create their flex, we try to get in front of them. And it's just really understanding our business model. So it's been great having all the different remote offices that Vari is now opened throughout, I guess, nationally, trying to have showrooms so they can go in, touch and feel our product and understand that our quality is not, we don't sacrifice, quality for speed. So it's definitely, really good product. So we're seeing more and more of that as we continue to try to grow this vertical. It seems like every asset owner has a flex, and every flex owner is an asset owner. So it's just starting to all collide together. And we're just trying to figure out, how we can, best continue to win these partnerships.
And from the quality side, I mean, Jamie, Mara super well, obviously one of your closest friends, and she is not an easy one to win over from the design side. And
She has
that
a
one's
high bar.
yeah, that one's taken a group effort, right? I mean, of Faye, John, myself, getting Scott Chambers interested, who she's really close with, and then Scott being like, hey, please go look at it. And so, that's one example that the three of us, we know Mara well, right? And to win her over is not easy, just because quality is so valuable to not only her own brand,
Quality, aesthetic, all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah. And not even just for her own brand with 25N, but also for
her clients,
all their clients, right? And so, I mean, I think that's huge and says a lot to what the entire Vari team has been able to try to do overall.
Mara and I visited the Vari. I'm not sure it exists anymore.
It was before me.
It was June of 2019. So it must have been right before you. And we saw Geo on that trip, but we went in and we got the demo that they did where they put everything together in 6 seconds.
It's called the Magic Show. I think John Moyer actually created that.
Totally. And that was right. And so much has changed since then.
Yeah.
And I think they were, to your point, they're pretty early co-working.
Yeah. We definitely didn't have soft seating when I started in July 2019. And I kept, saying, hey, are we ever going to have soft seating? And they're like, no, we want to just be the desk, the workstation. But Jason McCann kept getting feedback, like, when are you going to make couches and sofas and high-end coffee tables? And he just saw that those are reasons that we're losing certain opportunities because they wanted a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And dealers can provide that, but they didn't want 3 or 4 vendors. They wanted one. So he tapped into it, and it's been very successful for him, for Vari as a whole.
Yeah. Well, the landlord side is interesting because I think from a very practical standpoint, they don't do furniture, right? They might furnish a lobby, but so now they're getting into flex and they're figuring out, well, how do we finance it? How do we, right? Where do we source it? And your operating background, even though you worked for operators, you totally get it, right? So you get the decisions they're making, their pain points, and you can kind of, put that together. I'm curious with so you have such an interesting, kind of like Geo does, this macro view of what's happening right now. And you've been in the industry for 10 or so years. What's most exciting or interesting to you right now?
Honestly, being able to work with, all the people that were once upon a time my friends, I call them family. They're your family. They're people that trust you, support you. If you ever need anything, I can literally reach out to one hand, 4 people on one hand, and literally one of the 4 circle back and help me figure out a solution. It's just the support, but it's super fulfilling to be able to work with my entire network versus just one operator. I always tell people my purpose in life is I love being a mom. My purpose isn't to stay at home and be a mom. It's to, help others grow and continue to be successful by being a resource and a tool for them. So if I don't have a solution, I always feel like I know someone who does. So just connecting and helping someone, that's feeling some pain points and seeing them successful, like that's the most exciting part, whether it's with me or it's with a partner or a friend that's doing something similar.
So Faye, I let you get away with it for this long, but you went the professional, like polished, salesy route. Now let's talk about the reality, right? I mean, you've got one of the biggest hearts I know of people to help them. And I mean, I think this is a good opportunity to, there was days where you wanted to quit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we all have those days, right? Regardless of what we do, where things get tough, we get a deal that dies, things aren't moving as quickly as we want. I mean, there's no surprise that the two of you don't know. I didn't close a deal for 18 months through COVID, right? It was daily having the same conversation over.
I would guess not a lot of people were buying a lot of furniture during COVID either. I mean, people were, yeah, I'm sure that was.
Yeah. And you were in a ramp up time, right? And so, what is it that kept you going those days where you did want to quit?
Gosh, okay. You want me to be authentic?
Yeah.
Uncensored Faye.
All right. Well, trying to come in and create a co-working vertical for a company that didn't quite believe in it was very difficult. I basically begged to say, let me show you. I know what I'm capable of. Let me show you what I'm capable of. I didn't have a lot of support from leadership. With that being said, I continue to do it, even though I was told to focus on DFW. I did not. I focused on my relationships outside of DFW. And every time I had someone that wanted to utilize Vari, it got shut down. And why? I couldn't really explain it to you. It's just the leadership just didn't back it. They didn't see the value. And they thought their client was the Peloton HQ or the new Microsoft remote office that's for 20,000 square feet down the street. And the days that I just really wanted to give up and go back to the operations side are the days that I told myself that I can't stop trying. And I know there's a ton of people out there that are suffering that, really, really, really need our business model. So I definitely would call the Geos and the Liz Elams of the world and just go and hang out with them and say, tell me why I shouldn't just call it quits and go work with, another operator, because there's other operators out there that I would hope that would say, yes, come join our team. But I just continued to push and kind of overstepped some boundaries, definitely didn't stay inside my sandbox. And, eventually we started landing some partnerships, but I mean, it took 18 months from the moment I spoke with VentureX down to our first location. So that's a really, really long journey and a lot of hours a week trying to get things done. But it's been hard. It still is hard on the landlord side because there's a lot of different color schemes, different finishes, different fabric colors and things like that that I'm hearing that people want and need, and we just don't have those offerings. So to Gio's point, it's just, I can't really put it in words, Gio. Maybe I'm missing something. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just trying really, really hard to continue to grow this brand and create brand awareness by utilizing my skill set to get shit done, basically. So,
and even the model, I'm feeling like you couldn't go work for just anybody and do what you're trying to do. It's that you believe in the solution.
I believe 100% in this business model. This business model is 100% why I'm here. I told myself, if y'all ever go dealer model, I'm out. And I am. I just don't think that's what makes us different. So I want to continue this business model, continue to grow the partnerships and continue the networking. I love bringing everyone together. If I do a math suite, it's so fun to see that Mario fly in, and I know I've invited you, and I know during COVID it was difficult, but skip chambers will fly in, and it's just this whole group flies in, and we basically just have, and people see it as a big party, but it's really not a party. It's bringing everyone together, really connecting, sharing with each other, which people don't understand that co-working, they don't compete with each other. They 100% support each other.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this isn't working. Is it working for you? And if it's not working, how are you doing it? And people see like this whole community supports each other. It's not like your corporate America where it's, we don't talk to, Verizon doesn't talk to AT&T, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to chime in something you said too, because I know there was frustration on the front end of having buy-in, right, from the executive side of your business. I spent a lot of time with Jason and Craig and even Jeff at one point as he came in, really helping him understand the industry, right? I mean, we spent time, it was funny, preparing on the back end of some of the Venture X calls on getting Jason up and comfortable with what was going on in the industry and all those things. But I can't say enough. Number one, good things about you for not quitting and John's support of you, but even to the level of Jason and Craig and Jeff really, trusting the process, right? And then leaning into it. And I mean, Jeff, or really Jason and Jeff, I know read a ton of books and are constant students. And so, to the point where really there's been a complete evolution where not only did they have to buy in on the flex industry and the shifts and changes like they've had to on all the product types that y'all need and SKUs, but to the point where y'all now have your own large flex brand, right? It's not a direct competitor because they're not a co-working brand, but you are certainly a flexible product type with Verispace, right? And so, don't want to dive into too many of those details. I mean, that's something we could do with Jason at a different time, but certainly you've been part of that education process. But again, kudos to the willingness to learn and grow for the entire executive team there.
Thanks. Honestly, to Gio's point on that one, I did in 2020 request a leadership change. And it wasn't due to having, a bad leader. I was with the DFW leader. So he understands the DFW market. And so I saw John Moyer there, kind of was like, what do you do? And it was strategic partnership. So he understands how to take care of a Walmart type client, a big client with white glove service. And that's what I needed. So I actually requested John Moyer, got declined and by a leader at the time. And ultimately asked for it again after, Venture X kind of came along and definitely was like, okay, definitely said, how would you like to manage Faye? And this is what John tells me. I don't know if this is what he really said. He was like, oh, absolutely. I'd love to work with her. And I think he was warned, watch out, she's high energy. So I literally took, that was like in July. I literally took John from September to December of 2020, every single week. I'm not kidding. From Wednesday to Friday, we were on the road because I took him all over to go meet every single person I know, from the premier workspaces to, obviously work suites. We do have a lot of local here in Dallas, that.
Well, Dallas is a hot flex market, so you should. Yeah.
Yes, all the way up north to go meet with Angie, with Kurt with the census, or Florida. Obviously he met Paula, to the Atlanta market. I took him up to Oklahoma. Like, we went everywhere, and because he had to really understand. He's like, I thought I knew what co-working was. I had no idea. Like, this is a tight group, and he was like, it's such a different world. So having John as my voice to say, okay, co-working's not what I thought it was. Co-working is this. And so his support has tremendously obviously helped us continue to grow this entire vertical within Vari. So kudos to John. I
love the yin yang that y'all have. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
Was there some skepticism around like just the opportunity in general? I mean, co-working for so long was smaller, and it's so fragmented. Right.
Yeah.
So from a sales perspective, I could see some resistance to, like, if you're used to selling, right, the Apple campus, whatever HQ, big sale, big dollar amounts and moving to such a fragmented industry that's all of a sudden growing. And I would guess post-COVID, they're seeing, that bet sort of pay off. But you were not daunted by that.
No,
Yeah.
I think the problem is we kept having a lot of people call our 1-800 number. I think if someone's calling our 1-800 number, they're probably a startup or they're not connected.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. How about that?
Yep.
So they were under the impression that everyone that called in to Vari.com wanted 30, 40, 50% off.
No.
What they don't understand is these future operators don't understand our business model. So I could say, oh, it's $1,000, but I'll give you 60% off. So the desk is 400. That's the dealer model. Or I could do it my way and say, the price is the price, go online, it's 400. So some people can get past the discount. Well, so-and-so's gonna give me 60% off. I'm like, it's still, what is the bottom line? It's the same. So they were under the impression that every operator out there wanted 30, 40% off. And they're like, we're not doing that. So I said, well, those aren't my people. It's like, let me go show you my people. So I went after my people, the ones that would say, I got a problem, show me what you're capable of. And that would give me they trusted me. And that's exactly what I did. And I'll say it now, and I will say it to forever. Like every single person talks, that if you work at an industrious, you're probably going to work at an Expansive or a Premier. So it's important to me to keep the discount structure the same across the board. And if you're in a partnership with Vari, which means you're in a master purchasing agreement, everybody receives 10% off. It's the same. And it's only partnership operators. If you're going online and you're one and done, you're going to pay less price because we want to make sure that this person off the street can't just get a discount, but partnerships who spend solely use this as their operators get the same discount. It doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of how, we continue to grow. They saw that the discount structure was no more than 10% off. Now, if there's someone that needed help on one thing, we do have one-offs because we want to show our partners that we're here to back them. But that just continues to make our partnership stronger with the operators that we do serve today.
There's a lot of head bobbing. We're like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
So, I think an important part for you, again, and we've talked about it, is how you connect with people, right? And how you truly are trying to help people find the right use for them, even when it comes to the furniture, right? There's obviously more and more vendors that we can go out there for, not just desks, but also, you've got your Vera walls now, you've got your phone booths. There's so many options out there. So how do you look at that, right? How and why do you help people make the best decision for their business, not necessarily for your book of business?
Yeah. Well, I always say, what you see is what you get. I'm the same person, offline, in person, on the weekend, at work. My personality is my personality. If I can't be myself, then I can't work for a company that doesn't allow that. So that's number one. So when I meet somebody in person, I literally will be myself. So if that's talking about like my karaokeing the night before, or dropping a couple of F-bombs, because sometimes I do that, or potentially saying, hey, do you want a drink, or bringing in my own Truly at a happy hour that was sponsored with, things I don't drink, like I'm going to do it. So it does strike up conversation because they're like, what's wrong with this girl? So they're like, what are you doing?
Can we revisit the bringing the own cocktail to the happy hour? Wait, so what's your drink of choice, Faye?
Truly.
What's Truly?
Truly hard seltzers. So it's like White Claw, but Truly.
Okay.
So I love Trulies. They're like my favorite.
Jamie, we call restaurants and bars ahead of time.
Okay.
Fly into places, make sure that she's got her drink of choice.
Okay.
We were at GWA at the happy hour, and she's taking her Trulies in, getting reprimanded for having her own Truly stash.
Oh, right. You brought your own food and beverage into the bar.
It was actually an operator. It was like Tishman-Speyer, I think their studio, right? But ultimately, it was Tishman-Speyer. Is that correct, Gio, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was their first studio flex, I guess. That's their flex space. But
What is it about them? Are they healthy?
Yes.
well, I just
They're
don't.
low in calories.
Okay.
Oh,
and
truly?
so-
Yeah.
They're gluten free. The calories.
Because beer is not. Okay, got it.
I love beer, but beer does not like me after I turned. After my
Okay.
30s, I no longer can drink beer. I can, but it just goes down, and next thing you know, yeah, it's just a lot of beer.
So let me even take it a step further. So the last time I was there, while we were touring with a client of mine that does or buys furniture from Vari, and we walked by her desk, and I guess she had walked away from her desk briefly, and she had a beach hat, like the Gilligan Island beach hat, and multicolored, right? And a fanny pack that were both truly branded that someone put on her desk. She doesn't know who it was. Maybe, do you know by now who it is? Or
It was John Moyer.
yeah. So either way, people know this about her. She's got string lights with Truly cans on it. But, you know, one more step that tells you her obsession with it. But not only that, but John's heart. So for her birthday last year, so Vari is partnered with 360 Wraps. And so 360 Wraps is an awesome, we need to actually get them on at some point, but 360 Wraps is an awesome wrap company based out of Dallas that essentially Vari's partnered with to do the wraps on their phone booths. They do
Nice. Yeah.
wallpaper. They do all kinds of really cool stuff. But
at least Tyler and Felicia, their first apartment in 2009. So that's how I knew them. So when they walked in, I'm like, oh, it was like rekindling this amazing relationship. And so that's how all that happened, but it's small world. Anyway.
But yeah, again, that just proves relationships. But either way, Tyler and Felicia are some of the most creative, detail-oriented people that I know, on top of being just great people. But John Moyer circulated an email to all her closest family, right? Her friends and colleagues, and asking us different questions, right? About, you know, the things that we saw in Faye and things that she's passionate about and just all this stuff. Well, he had Tyler and Felicia actually take a Truly box and wrap the Truly box specifically for Faye, right? So, and she can give you some of the examples. I don't remember off the top of my head what exactly it said, but, and then we each got our own can, right? In which they, yeah, you can go grab it real quick, so she can see
Okay,
it.
show and tell.
But I mean, Jamie, it was amazing. So like each can under, like, for example, the contents of it, what do you call it? This is my English as a second language. Ingredients. There you go. Thank you. It says 100% passionate, 50% spunky. And so took everything that we had and completely created a can. Look at that. So there she goes. You'll get a show and tell.
I think my husband was
the box first.
My husband was the only one that got twerk on there and was like, oh yeah, twerk. I forgot.
So look at that.
Oh my gosh, no way.
Yeah. And then each can. So just pick one and read us one of the cans.
Okay. This says a badass connector.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So your calorie facts are 100% entertainment, 100% big plans, 100% blast from the past, 100% spin classes, 100% seltzer, 2% sleep, 100% chips and salsa, and 100% kind-hearted. And then it's like a really sweet message. This is actually from Tyler and Felicia, and they wrote me a sweet message. And then every little word is like Truly, call, text, LinkedIn, connector. I mean, down to the 100% positive volume versus saying 5%, alcohol. So it's great. And then drive fun, loving, boobs.
We were doing so good.
That's because I connected Felicia with my doctor. That's why.
That's so funny. So now you have to hide the box so no one ever drinks those.
Oh,
every
I'm trying to find I keep telling Michael, because they're in his closet, 'cause I don't have any room, them, and get a little like trophy thing and just put on
Yeah.
my cans. He's like,
Mm.
seriously? I'm like, yeah, I'm not drinking these.
I made
But I mean,
that's-
how many cans is there, Faye?
There's
In there?
12.
So there's
wow.
12 different people that got to do it. And so John went out of his way to pick 12 of the closest people to her. I mean, Michael, her husband, got one.
And my
Did the
kids,
girls do one individually or
Yeah.
one together?
they did one together.
And so it's a really special thing that shows you how incredible their relationship is, right? Their partnership, John and Faye's, but also the way she's impacted and touched people's lives that are willing to go to that level. Someone that she rented an apartment to 15 years ago. I mean, no, yeah, 15 years ago.
Long time ago. My 20s.
And they still want to do those things for her. And so it's just awesome.
Gio and I are going to do a culture episode. We're going to do something with culture because Gio's super passionate about it. And I love that example. And maybe it's not the full company culture, but for somebody like John to take the time out and do that, it's special. Because I think in a company, we can get super like, go, like you talked about, like, go, results, deals, like, and to make sure, you're appreciating people and appreciating the relationships. That's a big deal. That's
but I'll tell you, I mean, it is truly company culture. So John has been around 20 years, right? So John started, so Vari just had their 10-year anniversary. And before that, they were Jemmy. So Jemmy does the like blow up stuff in front of your yard.
Inflatable yard. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're known for the Billy Bass fish too.
Yeah. And so that's where John started. But I'll tell you, the company culture that has been built at Vari's incredible. It's bar none, right? The inclusivity, the just overall, I mean, everything from, I'm going to totally screw this up. What's the Indian holiday? Is it Diwali?
Diwali.
There you go. Diwali. I mean, they have a Diwali day in which everyone shows up and participates. They have their pride stuff. They've got everything you can imagine to basically make
a huge pride event. I think last week while we were gone, or I would have went and made these really cool shirts. Like we have all these different Vari shirts.
Oh, that's right. I saw those.
Yeah, I got one, but I wasn't there, but I had some.
And so, and a big part of that is, I mean, that's John. I don't think it was through John. Jason was connected with Jeff Lamb through, I don't even know who it was. I've got to think about it. But they were connected, and immediately they caught each other's passion for people, right? And so a lot of people don't know Jeff, who is the COO, was actually the chief people officer at Southwest Airlines.
Oh, wow.
And so Southwest Airline is known for their culture, and he'd been there a long time. And so they've done an incredible job building that. And so it even pours into leaders like John that again, not only does John have a good heart from a personal standpoint, but they take that and take it to a professional level. And so that's the way they build relationships. And that's why they're able to continue delivering, is because, again, going back to it, is you're not dealing with some dealer who then turns around and deals with Vari.
Yeah.
It's direct interaction between the user and the provider, right? There isn't an in between. And so I think that just speaks so highly to the brand and culture. But yeah, you're right. We have to have a conversation around brand and culture with Vari and so many other people, because it's so important to this, especially in this current date that we're in, with so many political issues and polarization and everything else. Is, we just have to learn how to love each other and meet each other where we're at, right? Yeah. And that's the beauty of it.
And to touch on that, Jamie, that was another thing when I first started. There's so many different events that I'll call it CRE markets are hosting, and me trying to do one event for $2,500. They're like, nope, not in your budget. I'm like, what? Like that cost $10,000. I know it did. And now fast forward, they see the value, obviously definitely have earned the credibility. they allow me to celebrate the wins with my clients. So Scott Chambers just did a grand opening in Vegas. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it due to illness, but he gets to raffle off a very work like $1,000 shopping spree. We'll call it that, just because they already have a desk, they don't want another one. And so they introduced him to me, and we just drop ship the product. This client's happy. Tomorrow with her Waco. And then, you know, we get to host these events, whether it's a Mavs game, you know, we're trying to start a summer fest. So like Da Vinci used to do Winter Fest, GWA, there's Juicy. And ours is more just like, come have fun, get everyone together. We're working through that one this year because it's our first year. I think we might pivot a little bit because there's a lot of working kinks, but eventually we're going to have an annual, either it's going to be Oktoberfest.
I like Oktoberfest because do we want to come to Dallas in July?
That's the problem. So it'd be August. And so we were going to do it on a big
fun hater, but
we're going to do it on a boat.
They've been coordinating boats and jet skis and lake houses.
But they don't want us. They don't want the liability of someone jumping in and getting hurt. So we got to. But we're getting more creative. But they are supporting us, John and I, and our team, and all these different sponsorships with whether it's Juicy, GWA, you know, Innovate Rally to help continue to grow this vertical. So that has been huge because initially, like, we did not have that.
I saw you on the list for GWA this year, which is in Dallas. So that's an easy one, or Frisco, I should say Frisco, but right in your backyard. So we're excited for that. Gio and I are trying to slip in the GWA promos when we can.
We have to. That's part of our paid GWA contract. That's
did you get your check today? I didn't get my check yet. I better
We're trying to do a party where we provide the venue. In a sense, it's an instant group. We all come together and blow it out of the park at Vari Space. Lost cleanest, just simply because the venue's large. You can have 300 people. You don't have to pay for it. We want everyone to be together. We don't want it to be exclusive. Like only 100 people can come.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't like leaving people out. So I was like, that's not gonna work.
Love it. I heard there might be a theme. The GWA parties are usually pretty fun. So, and a DJ, there will be a DJ, right? If Faye's involved, there will be dancing.
If we're coordinating it, there's going to be, they blew it out of the park. So there's definitely a DJ. It'll be hopefully karaoke.
Yeah.
I love it.
Truly and chasing karaoke stages everywhere she goes.
I was going to take different songs.
I'm going to try the Truly, by the way. I was looking at the real nutrition facts. 1 gram of sugar. I'm in.
Oh, I love it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you are. So quick pivot. So you've got 2 daughters. Tell us about them. What your favorite things are about them. They are both your daughters, but very different.
Yes. Elin is my oldest. So I got her name from Tiger Woods' ex-wife, Elin Woods.
Before or after she beat him with the golf stick?
I think she had already beat him, but I love the name. I just changed the I to a Y, and she's 9. She is my golden child, the people pleaser, you know, just loves everybody, very caring. Her heart is like 3 times the size of mine, which I didn't know was possible, but it's huge. And then you have Inslee, who is 5, and she is my Cardi B loving, Queen loving, spunky, very just like walks around like don't care, hilarious. Like she's so funny. She's sassy. She's definitely stuck in her own ways. There's no convincing her. She's very confident. I'll tell you that. So
and then Michael, to this day, I love you, but I don't know how he deals with your constant craziness and always being on the go. And it was so good to finally get to meet him, because we were all like, who could she be married to that is totally cool with her always being on the road, always being on, always being loud. And let me tell you, for me to tell someone they're loud means they're really freaking loud. So tell us about Michael real quick.
Michael is my rock. We've been married 10 years this year. So he's my person. He is, you do you, go be free. He loves it. He supports me in every way he can. he also is probably the best dad out there. I mean, if I'm gone, he'll go be the dance dad. He'll do the hair, take him everywhere he's got to go. But one thing about him is like, we are 100% 50-50. And in this relationship of raising our gals, and we still make time for each other. Like we do Kid Free Friday. So like after this, him and I are going to go do Kid Free Friday, which means we usually go on a boat and just live it up. Kid Free Friday. We definitely make sure we still put ourselves first. But he's like the ultimate like supporter. He's amazing. So I don't think there's many Michaels out there. So if you find you Michael, we keep you Michael. So.
I love it. Faye, is there anything that keeps you up at night?
Yes.
She doesn't sleep, by the way.
Oh, the 2% sleep or whatever that was.
We were in New York. Every night I was in bed between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
Boy.
And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part, Jamie. Not only does she stay up during those hours, she keeps everyone around her up. And so she's typical for her close girlfriends who accidentally stay with her, or she ends up taking over the room. They're like, she walked in and said she wasn't ready for bed and it's 2 a.m. and an hour and a half later, I'm like, Faye, I've got to go to bed. So what goes through your head at night? Let's not even try to talk about the sleep. What goes through your head at night there?
Everything. I'm thinking about what I need to do tomorrow. Oh, I need to follow up on this email. Did the girls' lunches get packed? Oh, did I tell Michael about tomorrow's dance class getting changed? Oh, need to make sure I follow up with Paula. Like it's so many. So I just email myself all these like reminders. Or I'm laying there and I'm like, did I ever respond? Like I literally started responding to Kevin, he's our senior vice president, like 4:30 in the morning from New York, like, hey, this is urgent. Like, can we make sure this gets done? And I'm thinking like, God, he's probably like, what? Hey, it's 4:30. Just like shooting over emails. But I can't sleep at night if I feel like something in my world is not. Yep. Like that my people aren't taken care of. Like, I want to know that you're like, we're good. Everything's good. Because I like to own things from A to Z, but sometimes you can't. People have to step in and do their parts. And if those people aren't doing your parts, of course, that's what keeps me up at night, because I am unable to do it. So I got to involve a lot of people to get it done. But I'll get it done.
And so this one popped up, Jamie. We've never asked this, but you and I have been on this new Enneagram journey.
Yeah.
Conversation, right? So, Faye, have you done the Enneagram test?
Colors, or is that the discs or discs?
No, so it's the numbers. It's 1 through 9.
I think they would like it. I want to know everybody's Enneagram now, Gio. I'm totally obsessed.
Miranda brought it up. I'm not sure if I've done it, but she looked at this and says I have. I'll send it to y'all. But I know I'm red.
You're a 7. I can tell you right now, you are a 7. You're not supposed to label people,
right?
But you are close enough, and I know you well enough that you are an absolute 7. And a 7 is the enthusiast. They're constantly enthusiastic. They're constantly the life of the party. They're constantly taking care of others. So I'm going to send you the link.
3-wing though, with the multitasking and the, super passion, like drive.
So I'm going to send you the link and you're going to tell Jamie and I what you are.
Oh yeah. Take it. I think you'll like it. I think
it says right here, my number. I'll send this to you. You tell me if I already took it.
Wait, is this Miranda prescribed?
Miranda's with GWA. Yes, she looked at this and she's like, yeah, you're a blank. So I don't know if you can see that. Is that what you're talking about? Numbers?
No,
I can't see it though.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Basically is test assessment tool. Yeah. So I don't know.
You have to take it's like a 5-minute test.
It's super quick. Yeah.
I know I'm a red though in colors.
We should start sending the test to our guests ahead of time so that we can have a little
That's brilliant. Glad you thought of that.
It's super interesting. Anyway, Faye, thank you for spending. What are you doing for the long weekend? That's our last and final question.
I am going to be on the lake all weekend with the girls, my husband, enjoy some fireworks and drink some Truly.
Nice.
Not ever recovered. I needed one day. I'm good. I had my Korean food yesterday in New York and I'm golden.
No. I love it. Gio, are you in Vegas all weekend?
I am. My side gig, remember? I've got a Bronco that I checked in this past weekend that goes across on Saturday evening. It is the biggest gamble of my life, from the I mean, obviously career-wise and stuff, but I've got $90,000 tied into this baby blue Bronco.
That's beautiful.
And so it's going across the stage. So in 2 minutes, I get to find out if it goes for $1
In
or
2 minutes?
So yeah, they roll it across stage and people bid on it as it's going across the stage.
Oh, you mean
Right?
it's not in the next 2 minutes, but
No, that's hilarious. No, it goes on tomorrow.
I was like, that's random, but geez.
Yeah, so it's Saturday prime time,
Okay.
which is when you want to be there, but it'll be a lot of fun. I've done a lot of research on it. I've got, as you know, I've got 6 of them right now. But they go anywhere. They've been going anywhere from 150 to 250,000. So I'm super excited, and the place is so full of energy. I mean, there's probably, I need to get the number, but I guarantee there's probably 500 cars. That it's 3 days of every 2 minutes something rolls across the stage, and there's people bidding in person. But you walk in and it's like listening to Faye. You hear the auctioneer, and you're just like, oh my god, I need a drink. I need a drink, and then there's people even online bidding with their own.
Can you do that live so we can watch?
Yeah, so I'll send you the link. It's live stream.
Totally.
And you can just click on it, but it's not. So I'm excited, but I'm in Vegas. It's Barrett-Jackson, which is the auction, July 4th weekend. So they have amazing fireworks here. And lastly, the UFC's here. They've got a big fight tomorrow
All at
night.
once.
So,
wow.
All at once. So it's going to be a crazy weekend.
Wait, Gio, you have to send me a picture. So we are camping this weekend, and we invited our neighbors, and they came over last night. And my husband was very anxious because there's no running water where we camp. So there's a website called Hip Camp.
Okay.
So you're basically, it's like Airbnb for people with land. So this guy has a ranch, and there's only 6 sites. So you're not like, you go to like a state campground and you're like right next to people. So you're like in nature, but with a crowd. So this is like, but sort of the road to get in is like super dirt road. Like it's a farm, it is not maintained. Maybe you're going to fall over like the side of a cliff on the way down. So our neighbor we were like, how are you getting there? And he said, oh, I'm going to take the Bronco. And I was like, I'm picturing it like, he's like, it'll be totally fine. Because he wants to sell it. I was like, aren't you selling it? What if it's like scratched and whatever? He's like, it's totally fine. The Bronco can handle it. So I was telling him you were in Vegas for this thing. He's like, I need to see a photo of that.
Oh,
yeah. I'll send you video.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, good luck. I'm praying for over
totally
$250,000.
Right. Yeah. Let us know how it goes.
Perfect.
Okay. We'll let everybody get off to their holiday weekend. Thank you, Faye.
Thank you.